I was in a studio working on a painting of a garden at night, and the green was coming out of this black, and I heard a wind, and I saw the green move. And I said, oh, that is interesting. And I thought it would be good to do a moving painting. So there was an experimental painting and sculpture contest at the end of the year at the Pennsylvania Academy of the Fine Arts, where I went to school. And for that contest, I did a sculptured screen with 3 heads out of polyester resin and some painting on the screen. About 6 feet by 8 feet the screen was. And then I stop motion, kind of animated, but in a stop motion, a thing that I called 6 Men Getting Sick.
David Lynch's journey into filmmaking began not with cameras, but with his background in painting, where his fascination with motion and sound birthed his signature style. His first experiment with moving images was a blend of sculpture, animation, and painting, setting the foundation for his boundary-breaking approach to cinema.
Cinema is a lot like music. I say cinema is sound and picture flowing together in time. And just like music flows, and so there's different movements, there's different things that happen in cinema like in music, and these transitions from one thing to another are critical like they are in music.
For Lynch, films were like symphonies, visual and auditory experiences that could evoke emotion and meaning through rhythm and flow. He believed in crafting seamless transitions between moments, much like music, to maintain harmony within the chaos of his dreamlike narratives.
Ideas are the number one thing. And if you have if you have the first idea, that's the most critical one. And then I say it's like bait in fishing. That idea will, if you focus on it, it'll draw other ideas in. But you don't know. Like fishing, you have to have patience. You don't know how long it'll take, but if you keep focusing on it and wiggle the line a little bit, it'll bring them in.
Lynch described creativity as a meditative act of discovery, likening it to fishing. An initial idea, no matter how small, acted as a lure to attract more concepts. His patience and focus allowed him to craft intricate worlds that felt both otherworldly and deeply personal.
Every human being has a line they won't cross, but it's a different place for each. But you need to have freedom to do your work. Any restrictions is a sadness, and it can kill creativity.
Freedom was essential to Lynch's art. He saw creative restrictions as destructive forces that could stifle innovation. His career choices often reflected this philosophy, from insisting on final cut rights to rejecting projects that didn't align with his vision.
I have, ideas about sound and music and, the whole thing, but I need to work with technically, very good people to get those things. Then you start talking, and you talk, and you talk, and then you rehearse, and you see that those words worked, but these words didn't work. So you talk some more, and it gets closer and closer, and you talk and rehearse, and then suddenly they'll catch it, and it'll be like they're right in that original idea, and they feel something, and if they remember that, that's why it's important to rehearse, before each thing, a light goes on, they feel they got it.
Collaboration was another cornerstone of Lynch's filmmaking. He worked closely with sound designers and actors, using dialogue and rehearsal to guide them toward his vision. This process of mutual understanding brought depth and texture to his films.
When you say it's anybody's guess, does that include you?
Oh, for sure. Ideas are the number one thing. And if you have if you have the first idea, that's the most critical one. And then I say it's like bait in fishing. That idea will, if you focus on it, it'll draw other ideas in. But you don't know. Like fishing, you have to have patience.
Lynch valued the clarity of ideas, writing them down meticulously so they could be revisited and expanded upon. His process ensured that the emotional and visual essence of an idea was preserved throughout the creative journey.
You fall in love with ideas, and you get fired up, and you go and you try to translate those ideas into cinema. And it's a beautiful, beautiful journey. And so it has nothing to do with any kind of career. It has to do with the loving of doing.
For Lynch, filmmaking was a labor of love rather than a means to an end. This passion for storytelling infused his work with an authenticity and sincerity that resonated with audiences, even when his films ventured into surreal territory.
I love abstraction, and the power of cinema to tell abstractions is huge. So it's as if people either don't have so much intuition, or they don't trust their intuition, or whatever. And there's a lot of noise in the cinema, and if you're not paying attention, because every little thing is got to be right, and you got to get into that world, and then trust your own intuition.
This emphasis on intuition highlighted Lynch's belief in the audience's role in interpreting his work. By trusting their instincts, viewers could engage with the layers of meaning embedded in his films, creating deeply personal experiences.
So I say it's like gold coming in from within and garbage going out, and it saves our life. It brings so much happiness in the doing, so much more flow of ideas, better relationships, seeing life as a better and better thing, and it's very good. It feeds the work and feeds the life.
Lynch credited his creative clarity and optimism to practices like meditation, which he said helped clear negativity and foster a flow of ideas. This inner tranquility translated into the imaginative and often transcendental worlds he created on screen.
When you catch an idea, you see it in your mind's eye, and you feel it, and you can hear it, and then you write that idea down on a piece of paper, and you write it down in such a way that when you read it, the idea comes back in full, and you hold this idea in your mind, and you stay true to that, and it guides you through the process.
You're an artist who has merged film, television, music, design, animation.
Lynch emphasized the importance of capturing ideas in their full essence. He believed that writing them down with clarity preserved their emotional and sensory impact. This meticulous process of documentation ensured his vision stayed intact throughout the creative journey, enabling him to translate even the most abstract ideas into vivid cinematic experiences. David Lynch's reflections revealed a life devoted to chasing the elusive magic of ideas, whether through painting, sound design, or cinema. His career was marked by a relentless pursuit of freedom, collaboration, and authenticity, culminating in a body of work that challenged and redefined storytelling. But behind his visionary creativity was a personal journey filled with challenges, including his recent health struggle. In August 2024, Lynch revealed that years of smoking had left him battling emphysema, a diagnosis that forced him to abandon plans for any future directorial projects. Despite quitting smoking in 2022, the damage had been done. By late 2024, he relied on supplemental oxygen and described being unable to walk across a room without assistance. These struggles were compounded when the Southern California wildfires displaced him from his home in January 2025, marking a further decline in his health. On January 16, 2025, the world lost David Lynch at the age of 78, an artist who had continually pushed the boundaries of imagination and emotion. Even in his earlier interviews, Lynch's insights reflected the joy and profound connection he felt through collaboration. Lynch's life reminds us that creativity is not just an act, but a way of seeing and living in the world. What do you think Lynch's unique approach to creativity teaches us about the role of intuition and abstraction in art, especially in the face of personal challenges? Share your thoughts below.